So months ago, when I had started this YouTube channel, this guy started posting comments. And I would remark to my husband, this guy, I don't know what his comments are about. I can't figure this out. Like, is he trolling on my page? Like, what's going on? After about 2 months, slowly what came out, Victor kind of divulged that he had brain cancer, and his prognosis had been March of 2018 was when they said, if you live to then, it will be a miracle. And so he had been seeking information about funerals and about end of life and what to do and how to plan and how to make things better for his family when he was gone. And so he had found my channel and had watched some of the videos and was just trying to educate himself. So he was reaching out, and his comments weren't making sense until I knew this and I knew what his goal was. So we started emailing each other and he wanted help with obituary planning, and he wondered if he should go to a funeral home. And I said, go. Just make that step. Go. Just get a price list, even if that's all you do is walk into the funeral home, get a sense of how you're greeted, how you feel there, get a price list, and leave if you want. Make that step, at least see how you feel about the place, and then you're going to know whether you're comfortable there. You know, it may take obviously longer than those brief seconds, but if you walk in and you just don't like your feel there and you leave, then you have no time invested and you can find another funeral home. But so he chose one that his family had used before, and he went and he met with them and he picked out a casket and he got his information down, and he kind of went through the steps, and he was so relieved afterwards. I think that he had found a place and he had things in place for his family, because that was a huge part of this, is he didn't want them to have to start from scratch and to wonder what he wanted and to wonder what casket. And he wanted to pick that casket out. He wanted to let them know what he wanted to be dressed in. He wanted to let them know his information. So that was really important to him to be able to do that. And so I kind of coached him through going. I was kind of the one just pushing him along. I think he wanted that, and that's what he was seeking from me. So I had told Victor several months ago that we may plan a trip out to California from Michigan. We have family out in California in the LA area, and maybe we'll come out and then we can interview, because he kept saying, hey, will you interview me? Do you want to interview me? And it just didn't work out. There were so many times that we were going to talk and things, and we couldn't do like the video. It just wasn't going to work out on his end. So we were going to, do a phone thing, and it just didn't work out. And so when I had planned the trip out to LA, I said, hey, I'm coming out, so let's do this. And he was so excited that we could meet, and that, if he lasted that long, if he lived that long, because this was in March that I told him I was coming. He celebrated his birthday in March. He was able to do that. And then he knew I was coming in April, and I think he held on, and he planned that while I was here, he was going to be doing the Death with Dignity. I didn't know quite how I felt about that at first. All I could think was, I'm honored that I'm going to be able to help care for him after he dies, and that to him was important that he knew the person that was caring for him, and that he had some kind of a relationship, even if it was just an email exchange, even if he felt he knew me through videos. It was important to him that I was caring for him. For some reason, that was important to him. So this is such a unique situation. For real, surreal is the only word that I can wrap my mind around to use. So he's doing this on his own terms, how he wants, and in the way that he wants it all to kind of line up. His moment of passing is going to be with who he wants, when he wants it. The person to embalm him is going to be who he wants. And it's just crazy. It's not crazy, but it's a little mind-blowing to say the least. So yeah, he was such a proactive person for making your own plans and picking out your things and getting things lined up, leaving some of it to your family, but then also allowing yourself to get a lot into place so that the questions weren't there. When the time came, it was easier for them, and so he was very much a proponent of that. So for the last 2 days, Victor and I have tried to line up our time together and tried to do an interview, and in person just wasn't going to work. He's really struggling this week. Physically, he is failing and is in a lot of pain. And so what we thought would happen when I came and the interview in person and the timeline, it's just not lining up. I think as you get to the end, I would imagine things get more confusing and more emotional, and add in the physical on top of it, and the pain and your family, and there's a lot going on there to make decisions and to do things, and I of course need to be the last consideration. And I'll just see how things lay out time-wise before I leave town. If not, I will still stay in touch with the funeral director here and with Victor when I leave to see kind of what the end of this story looks like. So I will keep you guys posted. So I am back here in Michigan from my California trip, and I wanted to give an update to the situation. So at the current, Victor is still alive. As things change so quickly in the funeral business, it did so in this case as well. We often encounter where we get a call from a family and they tell us that the person is imminent and that they're going to just die anytime, and weeks later the person is still alive. Or we have families call and say, we're going to be taking the life support off of Dad today. Can we run his obituary so that we can get it in? Or can we schedule everything? And we say, no, you need to kind of wait until we have a confirmation that he has passed. And then, the next week we see him sitting on his front porch drinking tea. True story. That happened. So it's, nothing is assured until the person has actually died. So what transpired came to be that afternoon that I was filming the earlier video, actually, and Victor just... he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready to go and to make that commitment to kind of ending his life. And he physically felt there was more in him. And I think because he wanted me to care for him, it was like this added little pressure he had put on himself. And he had said so to me later in emails, because we've emailed every day since. And it just was confusing in the moment, and the whole time period together was very confusing. So he is still going. He is still fighting the fight every day. And so as things progress with him, I'm sure I will do more videos updating. But this is such a great example within the funeral business, kind of from the funeral director's side, that we do get calls and we do get inquiries and we do get these notifications that somebody is dying or they're going to die, and they're not always as imminent as maybe a family believes, or the person's not always as close to death as somebody, as the medical personnel's, they don't always know, because the spirit of a person does a lot. We see families all the time where the person dying holds out for somebody to get to town, or they wait for everybody to leave the room before they die. There's just always these circumstances, and we see that people are so strong even in their dying moments, in terms of their timeline and so forth. So, you know, as a funeral director, we get these calls and then prep ourselves and we get ready. And we know that mentally we have to go to a certain place that once we get the final call, or we're going to have to kind of gear up and go in and work, or go in and prep, or go in and meet with a family, or, you know, just kind of get ready. And so we want to do it when we know a call's coming. So it's hard when you're kind of gearing up and then it stops. Thankfully, that means that somebody's lived another life with their, you know, another day with their family, or another few hours. You know, it's, I don't want that to sound like an inconvenience to the funeral director. I'm just trying to let you know the mindset. I would imagine like a firefighter. If they're there and they're told, hey, you're going to have a fire that you need to go attend to in a couple hours, you can't just continue on and relax and kind of be in your mode. You kind of enter into work mode, even though you're not working. And so when then they get that call and there's no fire, you're like, oh, but I've been gearing up mentally for this. So just to give you that insight into what that mind frame is like, hopefully that does. I'm thankful that I've had this interaction with Victor. It has shown me a lot about kind of the mental end process, and obviously there's so much I can never know unless I'm there and unless I'm in it. And there's a lot of things that I know a lot of you are hoping to learn through what this video originally was going to be that we're not going to know. I'm sure down the road someone will want to do, you know, an interview and want to do a video, whether it's Death and with Dignity or something else. But for this one, unfortunately, we can't answer some of those questions, but I'm sure we will get those down the road for you. So I will keep you posted on Victor, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.